The Week 7 Individual Data Contribution Assignment from the perspective of Team Member 1. Start on the course homepage, launch the Excel keyboard shortcut, and we're going to be moving around, moving to the end of a block with Control Arrow, or moving back to A1 with Control Home, moving one cell at a time with Arrow, or page 35 rows at a time with Page Down. Specifically, we're going to be selecting an entire area with a block with Shift either plus Arrow or Shift plus Page Down to select a whole block so that we can autofill, Control D. We're also going to be selecting a bunch of rows with Shift Space. We're going to color them gray. And we're going to be formatting numbers, either percent with 2 decimal places or we're counting with no decimal places with Control 1. And we're going to go Control K for hyperlinking a cell. We're going to make a cell with fit with Alt-HOI. We're going to access ribbons with Alt. We're going to toggle between Excel and Chrome with Alt-Tab. We're going to be getting a menu so we can make a note with Shift F10 if you don't have a menu button on your keyboard. And we're going to be selecting the URL bar with Control L and tabbing within the browser, Control Tab or Shift Control Tab within Chrome. And I think that's about it. Shift Control Tab to get back to D2L and Assessment Assignments and go down to the Week 7 Data Contribution Assignment. And what we're doing is we're roughing out our portion, and this is going to be our portion, Team 1, of a family's lifetime financial plan. We'll be doing all the fine-tuning in class as a team. So in Team Member 1 is going to be getting the year, they're going to be getting a couple of constants, inflation and RSP growth, the age of the parents, they're going to have income of the parents for the different occupations. Okay, so let's start by opening up Week 7 XLSX with a link to our team folder and go into our team folder. And Week 7 XLSX, if you mouse over it and click the triple dots to the right of it, you'll find that you can open it in the app in Microsoft Excel. It's going to open up Excel, and here it is. I'm going to go Alt-Tab to get back to Chrome and Shift Control-Tab to get back to our instructions. And the first time we're going to, in A1, we're going to put the word year. And we're going to put the first year in A2 is 2025. And then in A3, we're going to make a formula adding whatever is in A2 with one year per row. And we're going to autofill that down to A77 or the year 2100. So Alt-Tab and type in the word year, enter, 2025, enter, and then the formula equal up to the 2025 in cell A2 plus 1, enter. And then I'm going to go up to that 2026. I'm going to hold down the Shift key, and I'm going to go page down, page down, page down until I get to close to 77. And then while I'm still holding Shift, because I still want to select that area that I'm going to autofill in, I'm going to go up a couple to 77, and then Control D to autofill. There it is, autofilled all the way to year 2100. Okay. The next one, we're going to type the word inflation in cell A80, and right to the right of it in cell B80, 2.5%, was going to be formatted as a percentage with 2 decimal places. And then we're going to name the cell. And this is a beautiful thing that when we name this cell 2.5%, when we name that inflation in Excel, we don't have to type $B $80 because we're going to freeze it whenever we need to use inflation. We just use the word inflation. So let's do that. So I'm going to go Control down to get down to the last cell in this selected block, and then I'm going to arrow down to 80 and type the word inflation, and then go to the right of it, 2.5%, and it's already formatted. So I don't even have to Control 1 it yet. And then while I'm still on there, I'm going to name that. So it's Alt, M for formula, M for define name, and D for define name. And it automatically picked up the cell to the left of it notice that the name is inflation. That's how it knew. It's the cell to the left of it by default, or if there was nothing to the left of it, if it was above it, it would select that. But it saw that cell and it's assuming it's inflation. I can change it if I want, but I don't want to. That's correct. And note that it refers to sheet 1, which is correct, and $B $80. That's what will be used if we ever type the word inflation. So I'm going to go enter. See how the OK is blue line. So enter, and that one is fixed. Now, the next one is RSP growth. And notice the word RSP has a space between RSP and growth. Later, when it gets named, it has to replace that space with an underscore, and it will automatically. And that's going to go in A81, and then to the right of it is 5%, again formatting percentage to decimal places. So Alt-Tab, backspace, RSP space growth. Enter. Now look how it's spilling over. So I'm going to go Alt-HOI to make it wide enough for that. And then 5%. Enter. And now I do need to format this. So Control-1, Tab to get into the category, which already is percentage, and then Tab one more to go to decimal places, and then 2, and then Enter, 5%. And now that I'm on the 5%, it's called Alt-MMD, and it automatically recognized RSP growth. It automatically put the underscore there instead of the space, and it does refer to B81. So enter. Good. Alt-Tab. So I'm done that. Now I want to get their age. I'm going to put that in cell B1. And then when I get down to B2, I'm going to freeze the panes because I want it to always have the first column, the year column, will always be visible wherever they scroll. And I want the first row of the names of each column to always be visible no matter where you go. So we go to the first moving cell, which is B2, below and beside those frozen ones. That's where I'm going to freeze the panes. And then I'm going to make their age 25 years old. I'm going to add 1 for every row. I'm going to fill that down to B77. And then I'm going to gray all their retirement years from 66th year to the 100th year. I'm going to gray them all highlighted gray. And they're going to live down to their 100th year. So Alt-Tab. So Control Home, go to the right, age, enter, and then while I'm here on B2, I'm going to go Alt, and then freeze columns is under View, so it's a W for View, and then F for freeze panes, and then I could hit F again, or notice how freeze panes is selected by default, so I'm going to hit Enter, and there's these faint lines there, right between the 1 and 2 row, and just to between the A and B border, those faint lines. And if I scroll, I always see the A column, and if I go down, I always see the first row. Okay, so now I'm 25 years old, and both partners are the same age. That's why we just have one. And 25 years old equal whatever that 25 is plus 1, enter, and then go up to that 26, shift, page down, page down, page down, page down, go down to 77, Control D to autofill, and then I'm going to go Control down, and then I'm going to hold Shift and go up to their 66th year. 66 years, there it is. And now to select the entire row, Shift space. And now I'm going to color it. So Alt, and it's under the H for home, and then it's H again for shading, and I'm just going to use my arrows to go down to a gray that I like right there, enter to accept it, and there it is. And I think, okay, I'm done that. Now for the incomes. So in cell C1, it's going to be income 1 and D1 income 2. So Alt-Tab, Control Home, and now Control Home goes to the very first moving cell, which is B2. So it's not always A1. And then C1 is income 1, and then to the right, income 2. So for income 1, I'm going to click on this link, occupation of my choice. And I'm going to say the first one is an accountant. There it is, financial auditors and accountants. Okay, so I'm going to start by go Control L for the URL, Control C, and then Alt Tab to get back to Excel. I'm going to go up to income 1 and Control K for tab, and notice how it's blinking down at the bottom in the address. So I can Control V to paste it. Okay, Good. So income one is an accountant. And I'm going to get, so they say that it's 36.1 hours per week. And I'm starting, and I'm going to go with the average starting is 3307. 3307 times 36.1 hours per week. So 36.1, well, I got to start with the equal sign, sorry. Equal 36.1 times 33.07 times 2 weeks vacation to start off with. So that's 50 weeks a year. Get now, and then I'm going to go Shift Control Tab. That it's going to be formatted to accounting, no symbol, no dollar symbol, 0 decimal places. And it's going to increase annually with inflation until they're 65 years old. And I have to make a method for, I have to note my method for calculating. So I'm going to go back up here and I go Shift F10 to get into the menu, and then new note. Notice how there's a little underscore underneath the N. If I hit the N, it goes down to the first thing that's underscored, which is contents. But if I hit it again, it's new note. I'm going to hit enter, and I'm going to go average hours per week times average starting salary times 50 weeks, in brackets, 2 weeks vacation. Enter. Oh, I just have to hit escape, sorry, to get out, but it's still there if I go up there. If you mouse over with your mouse, it'll form. Now I'm going to actually format this in just a minute after I make the formula. So I'm going to go equal whatever it was last year times, and then in brackets 1 plus inflation. See how I start to type inflation, and it has a suggestion, this little symbol that means it's a named cell. So I hit tab to accept that, and then bracket. So the formula means whatever it was last year times by 1, so the whole amount that we got last year, that's the 1, plus it goes up a little bit, the 2.5% inflation. So enter. And now I'm going to select both these cells. I'm going to go Control 1, Tab, down to Accounting, Tab, 0 decimal places, Tab for symbol, arrow down, None. Enter. And then now OK is blue, Enter. So there it is. Now I'm going to go down to just the formula, Shift, and I'm going to go page down, down to an arrow down to 65, Control D. There. So the first one is in. So the next one, and you're allowed to pick accountant if you want. You don't have to. You can pick whatever you want. I'm going to go Control Tab. I'm going to do this time. Let's see, where's the search field on this? Oh, here it is. That's for all of Alberta, not for an occupation. I'm just going to go back to, oh, maybe it's this. Could be this one. No. I'm going to try it. Veterinarian. No, that's not it. Okay, so I'm just going to go back and I'm going to click it again. Here it is, keyword search. Veterinarian. Oh, spelled it wrong, but close enough. Okay. So they work 36.8 hours a week, and their started wage is 50.66. So 36.8 times 50.66. 36.8 times 50.66, and again, 50 hours. And then I'm going to just take this same formula, in fact, Shift and down, and then while I'm still holding Shift, I'm going to go to the right, and I'm going to go Control R to autofill to the right. Control Home. Now, these ones are all formatted right, but this one isn't. So Control 1, Tab, Accounting, Tab, 0, space, None. Enter, enter. Get. And then I'm going to go to Control Tab. I'm going to go Control L to copy the URL, Control C, Alt Tab, go to income 2, Control K, Control V, enter, and then Shift F10, NN, new note, in average hours per week times average starting salary times 50 weeks, 2 weeks vacation, and then escape. Good. And I think I'm done.